Hello, planet Earth. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations because you've made your way to the Buffington Post. Okay, so recently I've been going over Buff Season 8 and we just finished up Time of Your Life. So today we're going to be doing a Buffyverse discussion on what exactly I think that Willow is doing in the future, based on what we know in context as of Season 10. So if you are just following the Season 8 coverage and you don't want anything spoiled for you, then you can go ahead and head out now, but really, I'm going to go over it anyway, and it's always there. It's not like you can't go and find it for yourself. So here we go, and this is also going to go into my Crackpot theories because, like I said, I really don't know what the what is with the future and the timeline and the crazy cray, but I can tell you everything that we do know for certain and try and put some context to it with what we know from the future. So here we go. It's a Buffyverse discussion on Buffy, Willow, the Seed, the Scythe, and what the heck is up with magic.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. There's a time you gotta go and show you grow, and now you know about the facts of life. The facts of life. When the world never seems to be living up to your dreams, and suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you. It takes a lot to get them right when you're learning the facts of life. Learning the facts of life. Learning the facts of life.
Okay, so first we need to talk about a few different things like magic. Now, the best way to describe magic is actually through an exchange that we have with Wesley and Willow in Angel Season 4 / Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 7. Willow and Wesley are talking about this passage from the Daha Rim, which says, all life a container for the heart of all life. And this is the best interpretation of what is going on literally within our world. See, toward the end of Season 8, we find out that our entire reality is actually a spillover from some other reality. Now, this other reality kind of burst out of itself, and when it did, it became what we know as the Seed of Wonder. Now, basically, what that means is a new reality sprouted out of it, and that is our reality. And this Seed of Wonder basically started to make our entire reality and universe spontaneously. And so everything that we equate with reality and this dimension and the whole universe as we understand it is the product of this Seed of Wonder. And so it built the earth around it. And so our egos are right. We are the center of the universe. So it built the earth around it. And more specifically, it built the hellmouth around it to protect itself from being tampered with. Because basically the Seed of Wonder is the root and literal seed of everything within creation and reality. And so when you think about our planet, it is literally like life incarnate. It is this constant kind of life magic. Like our planet is alive, essentially. And so it does produce all kinds of life, which include the old powers that be, which were these benevolent forces that walked on the earth, and then there were the old ones, which were the pure demons, and then, eventually there came humans and all the hybrids between all of these various species and kind of takes on manifestation of magic, okay? And so if you think about the world this way, like somebody like Willow who knows enough about magic and how the world works and how it is all infused with magic, and not just our world but reality itself, if you think about magic that way, like magic does in fact manifest itself in these physical things, but if you look beyond that, it is all of just kind of this magic. And so the way people like Willow kind of look at the world is like as this constant swirl of light and color. And that is the magic that she usually works with. And so there is this thing with Willow and other witches like her. What she can do is, since she sees the world in this kind of swirl of light and color, basically what a mage or a witch or a magic practitioner does is they pick and choose from these different colors and mold them into what they want. Like if Willow needs like a purple energy, she'll take a little bit of light pink energy, a little bit of blue energy, and just a tad of black, and she'll make herself this purple thing because she understands how to balance out all of these forces within the universe. Okay, and so that is essentially what magic is. And there is, of course, dark magic, but the thing about dark magic is you can use it, but where Willow is looking at different colors to try and make something that she can wield, in the darkness, that differentiation between colors is gone. It's all dark. And so it's harder to control. It's harder to understand what it is you're working with and what the consequences are of working with that, because you can't plan the outcome when you're just dealing with darkness. You can't see how the colors will merge. And that is why dark magic is dangerous, and we try not to play with it. And so Willow. We know that Willow has gone all the way to the darkness, and she's gone all the way into the light, and she lives in this color. And so basically, she is the most powerful being within our universe. She's definitely the most powerful human alive, and possibly to have ever lived. So Willow is basically able to just reach through this world of color and just grasp whatever it is that she wants. And someone with her level of power, this is basically how you kind of have to look at her world. All right, so there's the Scythe. In Season 7, we are introduced to the Scythe. First, see this ominous sign in Greek that says, "It is not for thee, it is for her alone to wield." Now, this means the Slayer. Okay. But this means any and all Slayers as well, because there can only be one in the world at a time, correct? Yes. Now, the Guardian Woman explains to us that the Scythe is imbued with the essence of Slayer power. Now, the difference between Slayer power and what makes the Slayer are two different things. See, the demon essence, when it goes into a dead body, you get something like vampire. Something that is no longer living and breathing and connected to this life that we experience. Whereas when you add that same level of power, that same demon essence, but put it on a living person, you get the Slayer, which is this perfect expression of the strength of humanity. That's what the Slayer represents. That's what Buffy represents. And so the Scythe is imbued with this, the essence of Slayer power, not demon power. It is the essence of what makes Slayer Slayer. And so this relic has this in it. And Willow connects with the essence of this Scythe. She connects herself to the essence of this Slayer power in order to change the rules of the world, in order to create an entire race of Slayers throughout the world. Anybody who can be, will be, and is. Even though it is for her alone to wield, which means any and all Slayers, we see that Buffy holds on to the Scythe. It's pretty much recognized as hers, even to this new generation of Slayers and Faith. And so the idea that Buffy is the Slayer, the one who should be wielding this Scythe, is kind of egotistical, and we'll see where that goes as well. Now, the time that we spent in Japan was all kind of crazy because the Japanese witch Kumiko, she had discovered that she could use the Scythe in the adverse. She could actually take away this power that Buffy and Willow had given to all of these girls. So that was a problem, but, we fixed that. And then in New York, Willow and Buffy went there because they were told that that is where they could find the Scythe even after they had retrieved it. And that is where we are in Time of Your Life. We're going to skip Time of Your Life. I'm going to go to the end. Save that for there because it's all the way 200 years in the future, so stay with me. All right, so now let's talk about the seed. Now, Twilight is this thing, and basically Buffy plus Angel equals Twilight. And Twilight is a new reality, like just the way that our reality sprang forth out of something else, Twilight springs forth out of our reality. Buffy and Angel are kind of the epitome of the forces at work in our world, and when they come together in season 8, they create Twilight. And Twilight is this reality that is trying to overtake ours. And the way that it can do that is to rip out our seed of wonder and replace ours with its own so that it will be the prevalent dominant force. We'll all be in this Twilight reality where teenage girls and vampires can live together in the sun and sparkle. You feel me? So this is a problem, and Buffy, the way that she stops all of this from happening is she actually destroys the seed. And Alwyn had told Willow to protect the seed because she needed to not let it get destroyed or removed, because if it were removed and replaced, then our magic would be replaced with this Twilight reality. And if it were destroyed, then we would lose our connection to magic, and magic is what animates our entire reality. Buffy destroys a seed and basically destroys this connection that we have with magic, which is what animates everything. So Willow at the time had actually, again, connected herself with the essence of the Seed of Wonder, which is the heart of all life as we understand it. And she was actually coming to a place where she could destroy Twilight, probably, given time. But Buffy destroyed it while Willow was in fact connected to the Seed of Wonder. When Buffy breaks the Seed of Wonder, which is the root of all magic, she in turn breaks her scythe in doing so because that is what she used to destroy magic. And it's really symbolic because without magic, the essence of Slayer is gone. And that is kind of what we're building toward in this Crackpot theory video, if you'll just stick with me. So, Willow takes the pieces of the broken scythe. Long story short, she goes to Korthoff, goes to the world without shrimp, goes somewhere else, finds the wellspring, tries to repair the scythe, and is successful. She repairs the scythe, goes on a little bit more of her journey, and eventually finds herself in the heart of all magic. And this is kind of what you would almost equate to God in the Buffy multiverse, if you would, because, like I said, magic animates all of everything that we understand. And so when Buffy destroyed the Seed of Wonder, that light and color, this kind of flower in the middle of the universe, is dying. That light is starting to dim because it's losing its life force. It's losing its connection to its mother. So, this life-blooming flower of a planet, of a reality that we have, is starting to die. Willow, like I said, ends up in this heart of magic, which we can kind of equate to God. And this gives her magic to bring back into our world, and Willow essentially becomes our new Seed of Wonder. But magic only re-enters the world wherever she physically is. So, the deeper well, which we explored at the end of Season 5 of Angel, well, in the middle, and then we explored again in Illyria Haunted, is the home of the sarcophagi in which the old ones are kept. Now, after the destruction of the seed, yes, like there's no more access to magic, but physical items, totems, magical things, they still retained their magical properties. And so they went down into the deeper well to try and access this to do some hocus pocus. While Willow was down in the deeper well, she kind of gave birth to this new seed of wonder. Now, this new seed just kind of burst from her chest, and she knew what it was as soon as it happened. We found out that this new seed was, yes, this, but it would take a couple of 100 years to actually manifest itself, like get used to the surroundings it's in, and make its magic affect the world around it. Well, we didn't have time to do that because we were trying to save Dawn and make her not disappear. Illyria and Severin, the Siphon, use their life forces to cement the Seed of Wonder and make it go ahead and pulsate and emit magic. And now we have a new Seed of Wonder that actually works. Willow uses the magic from the Seed of Wonder to restore Dawn, and it seems like everything's hunky-dory. However, right now, in Season 10, we have some consequences for there being this new Seed of Wonder. With it, there's a new magic that is making its way into this world and animating it. And the rules for that are setting themselves in stone unless Buffy, Willow, Giles, and company will actually go ahead and write them down first. So some of the consequences already have been that vampires can walk in the daylight. There are friggin' unicorns and some other weird stuff like Billy, the vampire slayer. He's a dude and he now gets the Slayer dreams. But we haven't actually written any new rules about the Slayer lineage. And keep in mind, a lot of Slayers have died throughout seasons 8 and 9. And no new Slayers have been called with their deaths. So that's an issue. Like, no new Slayers being called, the natural balance has been affected. So Buffy and Willow are responsible for completely shaking up the way that the Slayer lineage works. And they haven't written any new rules to correct this, to make sure that we do have a Slayer generation after generation. Here's a problem that I personally run into. If Dawn is fading away in a world without magic, why isn't Buffy? Because Buffy was resurrected with magic. And the only way that I can really think to explain this is that resurrection is so very unique to the universe. Skip tells us that human souls don't just come over from the other side every day, that it had only been achieved by Buffy and Cordelia. And Buffy is even more unique because Cordelia, when she took her trip, she was still a living human person. She still had a living body, and she was returned in that living body. Whereas Buffy exited this world and re-entered through a dead body. So Buffy is singularly unique in her resurrection. So I guess that would be the only way we could sweep this kind of consequence of magic under the rug, because like I said, Dawn is a construct of magic, and Buffy's life is as well, in a way. So think about that and let me know what you think. But as of season 10, vampires can walk around in the daylight. Magic is not only brand new, but it's also everywhere. And the magic over in Magic Town is off the charts and crazy. So we are kind of perplexed by what's going down in the future when we get to Frey. When we meet Frey, she has like this bleak, apparently lifeless and magicless world that she lives in the future. It seems in Frey's time that the effects of Buffy breaking the Seed of Wonder were never repaired. It appears that there is no new Seed of Wonder. Like I said, she's living in this apparently magicless future where Slayer hasn't been called for a couple 100 years now. So we also have the weirdness about Frey and Hearth and the physical and dream powers of the Slayer being divided. We have the Vampire Slayer and her twin, who is a vampire. She only has her physical powers, and he has her dreams. So the dissection of the Slayer power and kind of the division of it between Slayers is not something we had ever seen, even if we did have, a male Slayer. Faith not having the dreams and Buffy having the dreams, it's never been explored. So this is something that we don't understand. And Frey in the future has a scythe, but we know that that is the scythe that Willow repaired and brought back when she came back to Earth as our Seed of Wonder. And we also know that the vampires that have come up in the future, the Lurks, cannot walk in the sun. So what happened to these new rules of magic that we established? I don't know. I can't say what happened between season 10 and 200 years in the future, but I can tell you what we know about how magic works. Okay, so magic is poetic. There is symmetry and beauty to it. Okay, so in Get It Done, the episode where Buffy is transported to the past / an alternate dimension where she meets the Shadow Men and they offer her more power and she finds out that, how the Slayer was created, etc., etc. Willow explains that, you have to think about it as far as the conservation of energy. You can't get something from nothing. So magic does always come with a price. You can't get something from nothing. In Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered, Amy, when she and Xander are talking about this love spell, she tells him that your intent must be pure. Like, whatever you will is what the spell will bring upon you. And so if you're casting a spell for love and you only are doing it out of the place of malice, that spell's going to backfire on you. And it's poetic in that respect. And magic is all about this poetry. We see in The Killer in Me that Kennedy is very quick to pick up the poetry and the symmetry to magic. She understands that when she kissed Willow, it made her feel guilty, which brought upon this glamour that was turning her into Warren. She understands that you have to move past your guilt. You have to accept it and move on and keep on kissing. And she kisses Willow, and the spell is broken. So there is a symmetry and a balance and a poetry to magic. So, what do we know? We know that there's a symmetry to magic. We know that the Seed of Wonder was destroyed by Buffy, and therefore also the Scythe in turn. We know that Willow brought back this new Seed of Wonder, but the Siphon and Illyria had to kind of quickie jumpstart it in order to make it work. Now, Buffy, Willow, and the Scythe are all responsible for the shakeup of the Slayer lineage, and we also know that Willow is technically the new Seed of Wonder when she comes back with a repaired Scythe. Buffy, like I said, destroyed the original Seed, and she destroyed the Scythe in turn. Now, when Willow plucks her into the future, Buffy kills Willow, who, like I said, would technically be our new Seed of Wonder. And before she does this, she also breaks the Scythe. So basically, Willow has manufactured the recreation of the events that destroyed the Seed of Wonder and the Scythe. She has made the same thing happen twice. You feel me? And by the same person. Willow says to Buffy, Hearth, Aaron, and Frey, the most important thing isn't who dies, it's who kills them. So clearly, Willow has a plan. And my idea is that when we see this whole great big light show come out of Willow and go out into the air, out into the ether, that is Willow doing what Severin and Illyria did, quite possibly, in giving up the rest of her life force to re-spark the Seed of Wonder and kind of reset the Slayer lineage. Because, like I said, Willow, Buffy, and the Scythe are all connected to the change in the way that the Slayer lineage is passed. And so, like I said, in doing this, Willow is recreating the events of the Seed of Wonder because there has to be a symmetry to magic, most likely. And all of this light going out into the world, Willow says you can't get something from nothing, and magic works on the principle of the conservation of energy. So all of that energy has to go out there. Willow said that when she was showing Frey whatever it was, that it was all the magic she could muster. But right before Willow was killed, she started emanating all of this light. And we know that this temporal event was Willow's death. And all of this magical ripples were rippling through time. And so the ripples off of this are affecting time, and they will ripple inversely into the future as well. And so what I'm saying is, this is going to balance out magic and put things back to the way we understood them back in season 1, I think. And as far as like the Scythe itself, why is it okay? How are things still balanced if the Scythe in the future is destroyed? Well, in the comic books, we've kind of made ourselves a slave to the Scythe, and the important things have kind of changed. The Scythe becomes this important thing, this great big symbol. But the real symbol of the Slayer should be the Slayer. And I think that is what Willow is restoring. So, I hope that wasn't too confusing. There's light and color back in the world now, but I don't know what is going to happen between now and the time we get to Time of Your Life when all of this stuff goes down. Is the book that we're writing the new rules of magic destroyed? Does the magic of a magic town creep in and take over our magic, and the two maybe have to battle it out somehow in like a magical Darwinian fashion? Or is our new Seed of Wonder only jump-started for so long until it really does have to regain its composure and start affecting in its own way? These are questions that I don't have the answer to, but I can tell you that that's what I did think about the whole thing. Like I said, I don't know what happened in the time between seasons 10 and the future, but that's my thoughts on why Willow's doing what she's doing. Stay tuned. After these messages, we'll be right back, is the next issue that I'll be doing in season 8. It's going to take us back to the concept for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer animated series that was never quite realized. So stay tuned for that. I'm Preston L. Young. You can come right back here to the Buffington Post for Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, discussions on the other Slayers, my continued season 8 coverage, and more. Come right back here. IDK, my BFF Jill, 730. Hope you're having a great 2015 so far, and have a great day.